And I live on 122nd Avenue, just upstream from the dam here on Mount Scott Creek, where the dam used to be on Mount Scott Creek. We had a pond here with water that was not really good for much other than boating on once in a while. It was very warm, no trees around, very little habitat. So about 10 years ago, the county and the state came in and rehabbed it, removed the dam, and with Solve's help and Friends of Trees' help, has replanted what you now see behind me. It's an area that is cool in the summer. It certainly has made the water temperature better and better for fish. And there used to be a dam right behind us, a big earthen dam that wasn't in very good repair. So it either needed to be repaired or come out, and so the county decided to take it out.
So the surface water technician at the time, Karen Streeter, just worked with our engineer to design a project that would remove the dam.
In 2003, Clackamas County produced a documentary about the removal of the 122nd Avenue Dam.
I'll welcome you first to the Mount Scott Creek Dam Removal Project site. This is a great site. Where we're standing right now was the dam. There used to be a dam that went across that way. It was an earthen dam constructed in the mid-1950s for irrigation and livestock watering purposes.
Friends of Trees was excited to be a part of this project here at this dam removal site. We planted during 2003 with the help of dozens of volunteers from the community. This has been a really successful example of what could be done at the mouth of Kellogg Creek.
Just up here, just beyond the bridge up there.
Right.
Which was 10 years ago, and the trees are looking pretty big now.
Pretty good, yeah.
Seems fairly successful.
Yeah, I think so. It looks really good. I think they actually added some boulders too and some woody debris for some complexity.
Yeah.
Yep. So they not only riparian habitat but also in-stream habitat was added as well. So and it looks really good. It's hard to believe this is in the middle of the city actually.
Now we would have been about waist deep in water, maybe chest deep when the dam was here. So it would have been silt and sediment.
Yeah.
Mud, muck, warm water.
That was a problem for water quality because then the water was very shallow going through the pond area, and the sun would heat that shallow water up. It'd get very warm, and then the fish that live downstream, they were not very happy in that very warm water because salmon need cold, clean water in order to survive. So by removing the dam and reconstructing the stream channel through the site, we were able to reduce the water temperature by almost 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a lot for one project. And by reconstructing this stream channel through here, we were able to make sure that the fish could swim up past this site into the spawning and rearing habitat above.
I'd like to see us at some point in time have fish return to the area and spawn here. There are other places in Clackamas County that fish are spawning in backyards. There's no reason it can't happen here. But the Kellogg Dam would have to be removed so fish could get back up here to where they were.
But the good news is that we can bring them back. We can restore that.
The reason I'm quite excited about it is because I think you all know that I have been kind of obliquely referring to this idea that we've been talking about for several months now as a roadmap for getting all the way through the Kellogg for Coho initiative, Portland Harbor Superfund process, under which those who damaged the ecosystem or the harbor, those who polluted it, will have to make some recompense to the public for damages that were created.
One of the things that industry is going to have to do as part of Superfund is a natural resource damage assessment, sometimes referred to as NRDA. And what that is essentially a requirement that they mitigate for the negative impacts that the pollution has had over time on the river, on the different values, fish and wildlife. They're in the process now of figuring out how much that's going to be and trying to apportion it. And what that will be used for is restoration sites up and down the river.
To calculate debit or damage or injury to natural resources and to equate that to amount of restoration that it's going to take to bring those species back to where they were before the contamination.
We're basically right up here at the top of the feasibility. So we're just starting to look at this site to see, can we do it? Can we finance it? That's what Wildlands brings to the table, is financing. And also all the expertise that I talked about earlier. So design and permitting and entitlements and all of our previous expertise from all of our other projects.
Wildlands is an organization that's privately owned and operated, and they are coming in at no cost to the city except for some staff time to execute this project.
Now, what the credits are depend on what the resource is. In this particular case, the credits are called DSAs. And so the people who need the restoration are told that they need X amount of DSAs, and we are told how many DSAs a restoration project will generate. And that way we know how many DSAs we have to sell if we do what we said we were going to do and create the habitat that we have designed and proposed. Interest is actually what funds the monitoring and maintenance forever.
But there has been some very nice floodplain reconnection and riparian restoration that's been done over the years. And that's the kind of thing that could happen on Kellogg Creek to great benefit. And as I said, in both of these systems, we need more work over time, but Johnson Creek provides a really nice example of the kind of thing that can be accomplished on Kellogg Creek. Right here we're at the confluence of the Willamette River and the Columbia. And the Columbia, of course, comes down from British Columbia for over 1,200 miles. It used to be the biggest fishery in the world. So I think in the Kellogg watershed, it's not only our opportunity, but I think it's our obligation to send down cold, clean, salmon-filled waters to the Willamette and thus the Columbia.
Why do we want fish back in the Kellogg Creek system? Well, fish are an important indicator species in the Northwest. They're part of the food chain that covers all the way from the small invertebrates living in the bottom of the stream up to the large birds and even some of the larger predators.
Making investments like this are really a way of saying to the future, this is who we are as a people. We care about our natural places. We want a space for nature in our communities, in our daily lives.
This project needs to happen, and needs to happen soon. Not only will we restore fish habitat here in Milwaukee, but it'll provide habitat up to 27 miles upstream. We'll restore areas that people can enjoy and recreate in and link a great vibrant economic downtown. But what's really important, what we are doing here is we are giving a gift to our future generations, to our children.
What I love about this project is what we've done, but the fact that I can not tell where the borders are between our church and the community anymore. It's what's the community, what's the church, it's all blended together, and we're all working to try to make creation back to what it was instead of a mess.
Now is the time for us to come together and seize the opportunity. Restoration is in our grasp. Don't fail the watershed. Undam it.